Maybe I should start a circus. Give up this whole YouTube thing, you know? Ooh. I don't know. Sunday GUNDAY. What's going on, everyone? Back with another episode of Stuff and Things, and I am super excited about this one today, and I actually have some of you to thank for it. A few weeks back, I posted a video about an event that I went to during SHOT Show where I gave a super quick overview of this gun, and that event was known as the Gift of Gun. I also posted a tiny piece of this gun on my Instagram, and I said that if you guys wanted to see what this little tiny piece belongs to, that you should like and comment and share that photo with your friends. So since a ton of you guys watched the video, you liked it, you liked and commented on the photo that I posted, today I now have the world's lightest, no compromise AR-15 in my hands to review for you. So this is what is known as the Enyo, and it was built by Master of Arms. Let's start with what everyone wants to know right off of the bat. The Enyo is a full-length 16-inch AR-15 chambered in 5.56, and it comes in at a weight of just 3.65 pounds. The weight saving starts with the receiver set, which has been machined out of a material that they call Tenalume, which allows them to take off more material while still maintaining the strength. Their bolt carrier group is known as the NIX, and it is machined from titanium and is roughly half the weight of a mil-spec carrier. This bolt carrier group allows for the addition of their secondary dead blow system, which is super cool, and I suggest that you guys look it up, but since we are going for the lightest weight possible, it is not installed in this rifle. Also in the receiver set, you will find that every single part is lightweight, and I'll rattle those off quickly for you. The V7 mag release, the Hogue pistol grip, which is made out of G10, the AR gold trigger, which shoots even better than it looks, the titanium ambi safety selector, the Cobalt kinetics buffer system, a thin down and texturized bolt release, and even the takedown pins are made from titanium, and they have big holes through them, cutting down on every ounce possible. The stock, just like basically everything else on this build, is proprietary, coming from Master of Arms, and it takes minimal to a whole new level, being constructed almost entirely out of carbon fiber. On top, I'm running a simple Vortex Razor with a 3 MOA dot on a UTG riser, and I saved what I think is the best for last. The barrel is a custom profile coming in at just ½ an inch with a mid-length gas system, and it is using that titanium adjustable gas block that you may have seen on my Instagram. If you are familiar with a lightweight pencil type of barrel, then think about that, but even slimmer. Alright, now this is where I kind of nerd out about this rifle because of the barrel and gas system and the whole handguard system in the front. A barrel that thin obviously needs a way to maintain strength and reliability, so the way they accomplished that was actually by first heating the whole thing up. When you heat up metal like that, it obviously expands and it grows, so the barrel does change dimensions just a little bit. Once it is at its maximum size, what they do is assemble the entire upper, and then they torque this nose cone nut down. So the barrel is still hot at this time. Once everything is put together, they allow it to cool, and because this thing is tensioned into place, the barrel is trying to shrink, but the handguard is actually giving it tension and that rigidity that it needs to remain accurate. So if the whole front end of this rifle doesn't make you go, whoa, then I don't really know what will. Now before we start shooting this thing, let's quick talk about price and who or what this thing is good for. The Enyo without optics is coming in at $32.50, which is a lot, and although it is insanely lightweight, they didn't make any compromises in the construction that would cause this thing to be delicate in any way. They didn't cut a bunch of holes in the receiver set like you may see some other companies doing. There's still a full-length handguard which has M-LOK, which is actually usable, and then even the minimalist stock on the back here has some QD mounts for a sling if you want to run something like that. Now because of all of those things, I could actually see someone putting this into a role that you would any other full-length AR-15. If you can afford it, that is. I have personally seen these rifles on multiple occasions at different shooting events, and people running mag after mag after mag through them, just spitting out like 1,000 rounds at a time without being cleaned, and they still run. So I really don't think that I'm going to run into issues anytime today or probably anytime soon. Now at that price point, would I want to run this thing through a full rifle course in the mud and the rain? No. I mean, I probably would for the video, but a normal person probably does not want to do that. For the most part, I would say that a rifle like this would be bought by people like myself. People who not only love firearms, but those who really appreciate the tiny, minuscule details, the material choices, the machining, the engineering, and everything else that goes into building a rifle like this. So since I have shot some Master of Arms rifles and pistols like this in the past, this technically is not going to be my first mag impression. You guys probably already kind of know what I think about these if you've been watching the channel for a little while, but I do have some mags loaded up. I'm gonna put some rounds down and then I will come back for a first mag impression. Now, as far as accuracy goes, I did just zero this optic in with a laser at about like 25 yards. Back here at about 45, 50 right now, so hopefully it'll be on. Maybe I should stand a little further from my camera. Oh man. Wow. All right guys, back for my first mag impressions of the Master of Arms Enyo. Although I have shot this before, it doesn't cease to amaze me every time I pick it up and actually fire it. When I look at this thing, it just blows my mind how they engineered everything to function just like a regular AR-15, but way next to nothing. The shooting experience with this is a little bit different than a traditional AR-15 with like heavier parts, obviously. But the first thing I want to talk about is the overall ergonomics. This hoe grip on here is obviously super lightweight. I'm probably just going to kind of stop saying that because you guys know that everything on here is insanely light. I really like that this is made out of G10. That is one of my favorite knife handle materials, and it feels very good in my hand. The texturing is nice, and you can definitely get a very positive grip on there. The controls are pretty much like any standard AR-15. The mag button is very easy to reach. The safety selector, super easy to actuate. This is a little bit more than a 45-degree angle throw, and it is textured very nicely. It's a good safety select. Charging handle, while it is not ambi, doesn't bother me very much. Again, super lightweight. This thing is so lightweight that you may have noticed that there actually is no dust cover. There is no forward assist on there. Those things do have purpose on a lot of AR-15s, but for something like this, you really don't need it. Now, when I pull this thing into my shoulder, it is not the most comfortable thing in the world, obviously. I mean, look at the stock on this. For the first couple of shots there, I noticed that I was pulling it into my shoulder a little bit too much. Since the Enyo is so lightweight, I kind of figured it was going to jump a little bit, and surprisingly it didn't. So I kind of eased up on my shoulder a little bit, got a more firm grip, and then just kind of held onto it basically with just my palm. Once I load this thing up again, I am pretty sure I will be able to hold it out like a pistol and shoot it like this, just because it is so light. Like, there are no words and there's no way that I can do anything in this video to show you how light this is. I wish there wasn't a helium shortage going around right now, because I would have gotten a lot of balloons and like floated this thing out onto the range. That would be super cool, and I really don't think it would take a whole lot. So anyway, back to the ergonomics. Like I said, this is a full-length handguard, has M-LOK all over it. You could run a sling, you could put a light on here if you wanted to, but again, we're going for minimal here. I'm not going to put anything on here that I really don't need. You may have noticed in some of those B-roll shots there that it is M-LOK all around, but the top 3 slots right here are actually not cut all the way out. That's because as they were designing this thing, it was very easy to burn your hands on the gas tube that is running underneath there. Man, there are just so many cool things about this rifle. Also, in the front end here, I am running this without a brake. They also make an optional brake that is made out of titanium. It is just a 2-port style coming out of the sides, and they said that as they were developing it, if they had 3 ports on there, the gun is so light that the brake would actually pull it out of your hands. I obviously haven't seen that, but I can definitely see how that would be an issue. Now, the way this thing feels when shooting it, like I said, it is very different from a standard weight AR-15. Because that bolt carrier group is made out of titanium and it is super light, there is a very heavy buffer system in here. And because of all of those things combined, this thing cycles very fast. You could think of it sort of like a machine slide on a pistol. If you're getting window cuts and you're taking material off of the slide, it's going to track faster. So this tracks sort of similar to that. I wouldn't say that it's a very violent action. I mean, it's not like a whole lot of recoil coming back into my shoulder. It just feels so different because it is happening very fast. This Vortex Razor is new. I have not shown this on the channel in the past. I bought it specifically for this build based off of Master of Arms recommendation. It sort of reminds me of the Nikon PTAC Spur, which you may have seen me use on some other builds in the past. It has a nice wide field of view. The 3 MOA is great out at a distance. I do believe I need to tweak it just a tiny little bit to get it zeroed, but other than that, it seems to be rocking so far. Another cool thing that Master of Arms makes that I do not have for this build, but it could make it even lighter, is the actual optic riser. This is a UTG mount, but they actually make a 3D printed titanium version for a bunch of different Vortex optics, as well as an RMR, and possibly some more. I guess if I really want to make it more lightweight, I could swap that out. I could weigh a bunch of the different red dot optics and see which one is the lightest. I could run like a 10 round shorty P mag, something like that. But yeah, overall, this thing is just incredible so far. Now, that's enough of me talking for now. I will shut up. I'm gonna load up a couple more mags and we're gonna run this thing until it breaks, which it probably won't, like I said. I've seen these things have thousands of rounds through them without a hiccup, but I'm probably gonna shoot this thing a lot and then I'll come back and give some final thoughts. Well, we might as well start this thing with a distance test. Back here at about 75 yards. Let's see how it goes. Accuracy is absolutely not an issue with this thing, which is incredible. Now, I said I would try this, so let's give it a shot. Shoot it legit like a pistol. I'm even accurate with it too. This is a little harder, but still, man. Whew. I'm gonna try running a 40 rounder now, heat this thing up a little bit, and give you guys some of the fireball action. Heating up. Yeah, buddy. It's a little warm. Nothing some gloves couldn't fix. This thing is super easy to run with. Alright, this video wouldn't be complete without a 40-round mag dump. Haven't done one of these in a while, so this one is dedicated to everyone who supports the channel out there on Patreon. I got a glove on for this one. Yeah. All right, guys, back for my final thoughts on the Master of Arms Enyo. I really don't know what else to say that I have not already. This thing is incredible. The fact that they are able to produce about 3.5 or 3.65 pound AR-15 full length 16-inch barrel, and then they have this thing run with absolutely no hiccups at all. It's just incredible to me that they're able to do something like this. This is still a little warm to the touch after that last mag dump, but man, this thing is super fun. Now, between my first mag for the impressions and then a little bit of zeroing, everything else that I shot today here, I think I have roughly 350 rounds through this gun. I do notice that it may be drying up just a little bit, so I will of course take this thing out and lube it up and everything. I'm really not out here to stress test this rifle, but like I mentioned, I have seen these things out in the wild at different shooting events with people just putting mag after mag after mag through them. And it seems like as long as you keep this thing lubed up and kind of wiped down from the inside, it just runs and runs. One thing that I definitely want to talk about is the trigger choice that they put in here. I've actually never shot the AR Gold trigger until I was shooting one of the Enyos back at SHOT Show like 2 years ago. This thing is phenomenal. It's such a great trigger, and I'm gonna bring you guys in a little bit closer so you can see it. First of all, love the flat face trigger. This is a really thin profile compared to some other flat face triggers that I put in my firearms. It is super predictable, very mechanical-like. I can find that wall super fast, which is why I was able to mag dump that 40-round mag pretty damn quickly. Once you find that wall, there is a super crisp and clean break. I would say that's probably about 4.5 pounds. Reset on this thing, slowly let out. It's tactile and audible, but it's not pushing my finger off of the trigger. The break on this thing is like super delicate and clean. It's just, oh man, it's such a great trigger. This thing is just insane. It really truly is insane. Like you saw in the intro there, I can balance this thing up on one finger. This is probably not the safest thing to do with this since it is a little expensive, but how about the pinky? There you go. Does that show you guys how light this thing is? Man, it's unreal. All right, well, I guess that's all that I really had for the Enyo for right now. This thing will definitely be one of those guns that I bring out to the range when I'm out shooting with friends. I just love the look on people's faces when I hand them this thing like it is a normal AR, then they actually get their hands on it and they do one of these. Whoa, they like lift up because they think it was gonna be heavier than it actually is. So the Enyo, super rad, definitely gets a thumbs up from me, and if you guys want to see me do anything else with this rifle, let me know in the comments down below. I have to give a huge thanks to you guys again for liking and commenting on that previous video and over on my Instagram. The more you guys engage with the stuff that I post, the more likely I will be able to bring you guys reviews on ridiculous stuff like the Enyo. So with that being said, like this video, like all the videos as soon as they come out, leave some comments, let me know what you guys want to see in the future. Another big thank you to everyone who supports the channel on Patreon, and as well as Panda Tactical. They supplied the ammo for this episode, and I would not be making these videos without you guys, so thank you very, very much. Now, if you are new to the channel, consider clicking subscribe. I make new videos every week. That is going to be all for today. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one.